Shalom, Kahala Yahweh Bashem Elshai, Bashem Kodash, which are the true Hebrew names of the Most High Father, Yahweh, which is Hebrew for He is, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, which is Hebrew for He is salvation, He delivers. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David reborn again in this generation. The Shalom to the 1/3 of Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the judgment that took place in Haiti in regards to these voodoo witches that are down there. Okay, let's go ahead and read this first though. This is Isaiah 28:15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at an agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehoods have we hid ourselves. So I read this article and it made me think about a lot of precepts, right? A lot of things in the Bible that tells us that those that meddle with the left-hand forces, that being the left-hand angels, demons, spirits, that they're going to start to get judged. And because you see, though a lot of people are under the misconception that witches, voodoo doctors, and all these people who are familiar with spirits, that they're working on the opposite side of God, they don't actually realize that they're working underneath God. You see, the powers that they interact with are under the obedience and power of God Himself. Okay, the Lord controls both sides, good and evil. Let's go and get that. This is Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh Bashem Shai, do all these things. So you see, the Lord is not just on the good side. He's on all sides. Right? He is omnipotent. Okay, He controls the left-hand angels and the right-hand angels. Right? Just read Job, to the chapter of Job about this. Right, telling you how the left-hand and right-hand angels sit up by the Lord. Right, because He is over them and He commands them to do good and evil. Well, you see, these witch doctors, right, voodoo practitioners, they unfortunately got judged. Unfortunately for them, right? Righteousness to God. This is let's read this headline. Let's just read this article. There's 180 dead. Haitian warlord orders massacre of elderly for using sorcery to sicken son. It says, yet another gruesome gang horror has played out in Haiti, as at least 184 people, most of them elderly, were voraciously slashed, hacked, or shot to death on the orders of a warlord who'd been advised that aging slum residents had used sorcery to give his son a severe illness. Interim Prime Minister Alex Didler Fils Ami called it a barbaric act of unbearable cruelty. The brutality was ordered by Monel Mocano Felix, who led the Wharf Hermie gang. The carnage took place on Friday and Saturday in the densely populated seaside slum of Cité Solal, a neighborhood in the capital city of Port-au-Prince, which The Guardian had called Haiti's most notorious slum. Most of the slum is an open sewer, infant child bathed in water contaminated with sewage. The stench is unbearable. And for those that are unaware, Haiti is home of the tribe of Levi, right? And they're on the same island as their brethren, the Dominican Republicans that go back to the tribe of Simeon. You see, Levi, one thing to note is that Levi was the tribe which was given the priesthood originally, okay? They were the ones who took care of the temple and performed the rituals. So this is why this tribe naturally is inclined to the spiritual matters, or spiritual rituals. And in this case, unfortunately, it's on the left-hand side that they've delved down into. Now, that being said, let's continue the article. It says, according to a human rights group, Felix's son had contracted a serious illness, and he sought the counsel of a voodoo priest, or Baku, who advised the murderous warlord that elderly people in the gang's area of operations were harming his son through the use of witchcraft. He decided to cruelly punish all the elderly people and voodoo practitioners who, in his imagination, might be capable of sending an evil spell to his son, said Haiti's Committee for Peace and Development in a statement reported by the Haitian Times. You see, and these people, they don't believe in this, right? But voodoo, witchcraft, paganism, all Satanism, all these curses that these devils put up, like they actually are real, okay? And there are some real implications to the powers behind them, right? What does the Bible tell us? This is Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So, you see, so right here, I'm saying in his imagination, no. The chances are, this voodoo practitioner that this warlord went to, he was able to communicate with these left-hand demons, and they told him that, hey, we're working for these other demons, or we're working for these other priests over here. This is why this is happening. And that's why this warlord did what he did, because you see, he had curses put upon his son. Let's continue. It says, members of the gang surrounded the neighborhood that proceeded to search the shacks for people over 60 years old, who were then hacked with machetes, slashed with knives, and shot with guns. The victims included some younger people who tried to defend the gang's elderly targets. Bodies were dragged into the streets where they were mutilated and torched, filling the neighborhood with the foul stench of death. Felix's ailing son died as the massacre was being carried out. So crazy. Check that out, man. See, so those spirits, right, came in, and chances are, right, that look, check this out. You can actually see right here somebody underneath this fire, man. Here's there's like another body here, but you see, Haiti doesn't play, man. Especially when they find people that are that they're basically having community justice put upon them. They don't play down there, and chances are that whatever witch down there that had put this curse on the son, they seen what was going on, and they went up and they probably put a death curse on him, right? But this right here is all the Lord's judgment to the priest and to that warlord. You see, because why? Well, let's read this. This is 1 Peter 4:17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God, and if it first begin with us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? And you see, when it says the house of God, it's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. And as you can see here, the tribe of Levi, the Haitians, they are one of the 12 tribes of Israel. In fact, they were the original priests, right, of the 12 tribes, right? The ones that were put in that position by the Lord, to minister on to the congregation, right? To do all the rituals and to keep the temple. And unfortunately, now in this time, they have fallen to such a state where, they're known for their witchcraft, right? They made a whole movie about it in Disney, right? About the Voodoo witch doctor, right? I think it's what's that one? It's like a Disney cartoon. It's in like New Orleans. They have like this witch doctor guy in there. But the whole point being is that the Haitians, they've been going on for a long time. In fact, they've actually secured their freedom from modern slavery through an act of sacrificing, to these demons, right? When you get into when you look at this image here, the Haitians rebelled against the French that had enslaved them, and one of the things that they did is like that night or the night before, they had sacrifices a few pigs and performed some voodoo ritual to help them free themselves, right? And then what commenced was what history records as the Haitian rebellion against the French, right? Which is shown here in this image. But the point being is that this is now starting to come back upon them, right? It's not just a mere coincidence that this warlord, got this idea in his head, and now all these, elderly people, are dead. These elderly people, they've been living for a long time. They're not just some old granny and grandpa, who were innocently just chilling around. No, right? They've lived a life, and they've done things in their life, and chances are is that they messed around with voodoo and they messed around with these spirits, and it was now time for this judgment to come rolling through. And just as it's rolling through the tribe of Levi right here, you're going to start seeing a lot more judgment going out throughout the rest of the tribes, right? Mark my words, we're going to start seeing a lot more mass death casualties going around the Negro, Latino, Native Americans, especially once Trump gets into power. You're going to start seeing, we know that Jacob's trouble is still to come. We see all the law that's getting put into place, so to see this here, this is a spiritual sign to show us that the judgment, it's going out, okay? And like the scripture says, right, that the judgment's going to start first at the house of Israel, right? Starting with you Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Let's continue. It says, in a statement issued via Facebook, Haiti's feeble government said a red line has been crossed and the state will mobilize all of its forces to drag down and eliminate these criminals. Justice will strike with exemplary rigor. Right? So there you go, man. See, so it's the trouble is only about to start there in Haiti, right? And it's no coincidence that Haiti, over the last couple months, or really this last year, that their government was overthrown. Or actually, really, like two years ago, that they killed off the president that basically rejected the shots. They put in a puppet president, and you had the rebellion going on down there, right? Because they're trying to put these Haitians down. They're trying to put Levi down for the rebellion against the world organization that's trying to take over, right? Because they're, for the most part, I don't know the exact specifics, but down in Haiti, I believe that there's massive deposits of I want to say trinitite or some sort of rare earth metal that's down there because of an ancient comet that crashed in that area, which Esau has coveted, and he's basically he's taken up a large section of that area, and also has impoverished the people, so that way they can't rise up and make anything of themselves. Well, as we just read, right, even the embedded government is now seeking, or should I say now has an excuse to come down hard on these Levites because of all these events that went on, all that the things that started to happen with these events, because they consulted these spirits, right? Continuing, it says, given Haiti's police forces have been plagued by mass desertion amid the country's deep descent into chaos, that promise rings hollow, to say the least. These latest killings bring the death toll in Haiti this year to a staggering number of 5,000, said UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk on Monday. As domestic law enforcement grows ever more desperate, foreign governments have failed to follow through on their commitment to send help. In June, a Kenya-led multinational police force was deployed to help Haiti's authority regain territory from gangs, but has since made few advances amid chronic shortages of funding and personnel. A little more than 400 of the 2,500 foreign officers pledged to the mission have been deployed. Right? See, because the UN basically tried to bring ham into to Haiti to basically bring in to control them, right? With that puppet government that they set up, right? But it looks like they're not even fulfilling their promise, right? Continuing, it says, Haiti's descent into a hellscape accelerated in 2021 when President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated. Since then, gangs have ruled almost the entire capital city, perpetrating extortion, kidnapping, rape, and murder on mass scale. Mass murder is frequently used to punish neighborhoods accused of undermining a gang, as was the case with an October massacre that killed at least 70 people, including women and children, in Pont-Sunday, 60 miles north of Port-au-Prince. More than 700,000 Haitians have fled their homes, and half live in hunger as gangs control ports and thwart food and fuel distributions. Last weekend's attack is not the first time Felix's gang has launched out at supposed practitioners of witchcraft. In 2021, his thugs were accused of killing a dozen elderly women under that same suspicion, according to the National Human Rights Defense Network. So you see, so that right there, even if it's false that those elderly people did commit some sort of witchcraft, the fact being is that they more likely practice witchcraft, right? The whole Haiti, like I said, the whole Haiti culture is a culture steeped in witchcraft. So the Lord, regardless if those elderly people, or those people, should I say, were performing witchcraft at that particular time or did it against this warlord's son, the Lord was getting them back, right? Because it was time for judgment to come through, right? Because let's jump down to verse 17 where we started. This is Isaiah 28:17. Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet. And the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. And that's what's happening, man. You see, right now, the waters of truth, right? This message, the true narrative of the Bible, the words of God are actually going out to the world, and they're revealing the hiding places of a lot of this wicked left-hand magic, right? And that also includes the voodoo practitioners down there in Haiti, right? Because it's now their time to get judged, right? They're now having to answer for the things that they've done, and this death all comes at the hands of the Lord, right? Because again, the Bible tells you, man, that that the Lord is responsible for all acts of death. Okay, is like it says. It says? Is there death in the city and the Lord has not done it? Meaning that the Lord's behind. He's the one that approves everybody's death ticket. Okay, so it's time for these voodoo practitioners to pay up, right? And like it tells you here, man, right, that they were going to be trodden down by the overflowing scourge that's coming through, right? And that this particularly is talking about all that violence, like the article said, that hellscape that's going through Haiti. And what's this? This is one of the main laws, like Exodus 22:18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. You know, and that's because the Lord doesn't want us messing with the left-hand angels or that left-hand magic, right? It's very clear that we are not to be messing with witchcraft, right? Now, unfortunately, here in Babylon the Great, there's so much witchcraft, you know, melded into everything that, you know, we the citizens of America, Babylon the Great, as it's called in the Bible, you know, can't do pretty much anything without, you know, mingling with some sort of witchcraft in some form or another, just because the way that America is set up, right? Every time you deal with money, physical money, you're touching and working with a magical sigil, okay? Just to give you an idea, right? The words that we speak today, English, it's a form of magic, right? Watching media, TV, all that, propaganda, that's also forms of magic. You see, so the point being is that, you know, all of us are guilty of witchcraft in one way or another. But for those that are practitioners in it, who live by it, that have lined themselves with these left-hand angels, you know, it's over for them, right? And because one, they're not even going to come to God, right? They're not asking for forgiveness. They're not seeking to repent. And because of that, that's ultimately going to come down upon them. What does the scripture say? Ecclesiasticus 40:9, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. So there you go, Akim. As we're seeing, there's judgment going out all over the place. And this is why it's more important now than ever that we all get right. You know, we continue to study, learn, try to be as obedient as possible, you know, in this place of wickedness to the Lord. That way he gives us that hedge of protection, and he watches out for us in these evil times. So hopefully this video was edifying. Until the next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom.